Good day, District Improvement Council. This is Dr. Tremmel, the Assistant Superintendent for Commerce ISD. I appreciate you opening your email and taking the time. What I'm bringing forward today is a proposed calendar for 2020-2021. The reason that we're bringing this proposed calendar to you is for several reasons. Mr. Alderman wanted me to share during a news conference on May 5th, Governor Greg Abbott said public schools may need to start the school year earlier than usual and increase the length of winter break. We are doing this because of the possible funding reductions and spikes in COVID-19. That's why we're bringing a new calendar. We're also building it for flexibility for the possibility of a spike in COVID-19 cases. So not only is it possible funding impacts where if we were to close down, we would get partial ADA funding, which actually means salaries for individuals working up here in the school district. And it's also meeting the number of minutes as well. It also is preventing lost learning time and in thinking about bad weather weeks versus bad weather days. Before I begin to explain the new possible calendar, I wanted to share with you that students are required to attend school for 173 days and teachers are required to work 187 days. So let's just go through this proposed calendar and I'll do my best to explain. Let's begin with the month of July. We have built in one new teacher day, July 27th. We will actually have 5 PD, staff development, or teacher work days. We are proposing that students will come back Tuesday, August the 4th. And I believe that was actually a week earlier. So I did want to point that out. We would attend school, and then our first no-class holiday would be held the same, September the 7th. We would attend school. We actually, in October, have our fall break, and the X's are to denote that those are exchange days. So teachers actually and employees would actually do 2 exchange days. And what that means is they work in the summer to get those 2 days off. However, students would be off the entire week. Then we have school. We still have our November Thanksgiving break built in. We attend school. We get out an early release on December the 18th. But here is where the change is occurring. We actually have 3 weeks built in for winter Christmas break. And the reason we were wanting to do this is because, let's say people travel during Christmas break. This actually gives them time to recognize if they have any sort of symptoms of COVID-19 and a little bit more time to get over those symptoms before returning back to school. We have 1 day of a student holiday, which is a teacher work day, staff development, and then we're in school, and then we get out the students will be off one more day for a teacher work day, staff development. And then in February, as you can see right here, this would be our first intersessional week, which I'll call Intersessional Week A. And then you can see, if your eyes glance down, Intersessional Week B, Intersessional Week C, and Intersessional Week D. But going back up to Intersessional Week A, what that means is students would have off, but we would actually invite students for enrichment or remediation. And they can also be used as makeup time if we have to release for COVID-19 any time before this time. Teachers would be working with the principals, so not everyone would be working. So each teacher or employee would be asked to work one of the weeks of Intersession A, Intersession B, Intersession D, or Intersession D. I meant to say C, but you know what I meant, C or D. Then we have our first bad weather day. We have our spring break built in, and our spring break is still on Texas A&M Commerce's spring break. We have another bad weather day in April. And then we have Intersession Week B this week. I do want to note that STAR testing is occurring in the spring, so we wanted to have Intersession weeks before the STAR testing, so we wanted to point that out. Then we go in May, and we actually do not release students until June 4th. That would actually be graduation day. Then we actually have 2 Intersession weeks built in. And what's helpful here is what I want to point out is if we have not used any of shutdown days, then actually we could ask all the teachers to return and actually use Intersessional Week C and not use, Intersessional Week B and not use Intersessional Week C or D. But if we did have a shutdown of COVID-19, then teachers could work these 8 days. They would be at a lengthier day because we do have Fridays off. And I also want to point out this is actually the time that we built in what we call SSI, Student Success Initiative, and summer school, because our right here, June 21st through actually June 24th, 25th is actually a makeup date. That is actually a third chance to take your STAR test. If a teacher worked more than 1 week of the intersessional weeks, they would get paid for the extra weeks, but it is not required. So I did want to point that out as well. There would be time for remediation, enrichment, and extracurriculars. At this time, we wanted to bring this proposed calendar to you. We would love to have feedback. Our next step is after District Improvement Council with the feedback would be to share this calendar with the school board. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this presentation. And if you have questions, please just reply to questions and I will bring them to Mr. Alderman, and we could have back and forth dialogue. And our next scheduled board meeting is on Monday, June the 15th. Thank you.